Hello there. My name is Octavia Harris. I'm a realtor with Coldwell Banker in Southwest Florida, focusing on the Naples, Bonita Springs, and Fort Myers area. I am kind of available in Punta Gorda, Lehigh Acres, Marco Island, but I don't have that. That's not my target area. Will I go there? Yes. Buyer representation agreement. I am going to read through this and we'll go over it. So if you have questions about like, what is a buyer representation agreement? Why do I have to sign this? I don't even know you that well to be signing this. This is a document that, and I love it. So let's back up a little bit. There was a lawsuit about commissions and I should just tag the lawsuit here. I don't even know the name of it. But anyways, the result of it is that now all realtors, prior to showing property, they have to have this buyer representation agreement signed. And it's the realtor saying, Mr. and Mrs. Customer, I am a realtor, this is a profession, and I will be getting paid from you in this amount. That's kind of the basics. Oh, let me put this in here. I am not a real estate attorney. I'm not an attorney. Please make sure you do your own research. This is me reading through a contract basically and explaining to you, in my opinion, what it means. I'll tag this document somehow so you can click on it and read through it with me. We're gonna sit together and go through these documents together so you feel a little bit more comfortable about what's in front of you. This is the Coldwell Banker form. Every brokerage has different forms. Okay, now to the meat and potatoes. Buyer representation agreement, and we have our logo Coldwell Banker Realty in the top right corner. Coldwell Banker Realty, broker and customer's name, or you. Collectively, the parties enter into this non-exclusive buyer representation agreement on whatever day it is. Let's stop right there. Non-exclusive means that you could have multiple agents. You could have multiple people trying to find homes for you. Exclusive, which is the opposite of that, means that whatever you do with other people, doesn't matter. We have this exclusive agreement. And if you go out here and you buy a property with someone else, I feel like a really smart attorney could argue that the person you have the exclusive agreement with is also owed a commission. So whatever you do, before you sign this form, make sure it's someone you want to be tied to, because contractually, you will be obligated to pay them a commission if you buy. I think that's the main bottom line. You're signing this agreement. It's saying, I want to work with Octavia. She is going to be paid for helping me purchase a property. Now, let's go back to my very extensive history of helping people find properties and then they buy without me. I'm gonna have to figure out how to make the applause come here. I have worked with some of the dirtiest, grimiest people on the planet, I am certain. I had this one couple, the wife was from South Africa and he was from Boston, and we worked together for 3 or 4 years. I literally erased their names from my head. He works at an insurance firm down here. I have to try to remember his name. They ran me all around town for years. More applause. For years. I wish I was joking. Before, in the beginning of the relationship, they had 3 dogs and they were looking at condos. And in most of these condos, if they allow dogs, it's 2. And then if they allow dogs, it's 2 small dogs. So they had me running around figuring out which condo they could have 3 dogs at, and they were big dogs. And then they're like, okay, well, we want to rent it out. when we're not using it. So in addition to having to call all of these condos and HOAs to figure out the dogs, they also had me completing complete rental analyses. And these things take a couple hours for me to do because you have to find the property, find one that's similar, find one that rented, find the prices, find this, this, and this, and this, and then create a whole spreadsheet for them. And then they bought with someone else. They bought $1 million property with someone else after working with me for, it was like 2 or 3 years. Gone to lunch, they had multiple trips down. I wasn't brokenhearted, I was mad. I was very angry. I literally went out and bought some boxing gear so I could box out all the anger. Thank you so much for treating me like that. I appreciate you, because now I wouldn't dare take someone out without having a buyer representation agreement. And I know that story seemed kind of long, but can you imagine spending years with people? And this is how dirty and disgusting people are. There's no fealty, there's no loyalty in business. I hope they see this video so they know how much I really still don't like them. Back to this agreement. So I said all that to say, this is why realtors need this form. It's because there's so many disgusting people out here that will take advantage of you for years, take advantage of your knowledge, your time. I think about all the money I could have made focusing on other people, because I would never do that to someone. I would never work with someone for years on a purchase and then buy with someone else to save money. They said it was just business. You know, every time I've ever heard it's just business, I was always the one getting screwed over. Every time. I'm gonna have some more real estate stories for you as well, giving you the opportunity to understand a little bit more about real estate, because everybody makes it seem like flowers and rainbows, but there are so many bad actors in this field. Don't you dare trust anyone. Don't trust me. The only person you could, even in the contract, when we get to the contract, it's on there. Your agent cannot be held responsible for any advice they gave you. So it's important to read these things and understand them for yourself, because you're signing it and you're on the hook. Okay, I'm sorry for that long tangent. I still really hate those people. And literally hope something bad, right now, I still hope something bad happens to them. God forgive me. So when bad things happen to me, I literally will put it in a box and like scrunch it down, scrunch it down, scrunch it down, scrunch it down. Then I throw it into the ocean, and then I try to forget about the entire experience so that I can continue on being free and not in jail somewhere. Can I get an amen? Number 1, covered property. Beginning on the date above and continuing for the next blank days. So see the next thing, 180 days if left blank. So I was taught, and one of the few things I was taught in this business, I swear people do not want to help you become a realtor. You have to I had to claw and learn this, and I've made so many mistakes. I have the experience. I've messed up already. I know what I'm doing. That's what you need to know. Okay. Oh, so I was taught to never leave a place blank in a contract. If it's NA, put NA. Never ever leave one of these little boxes blank. You need to put a number in there. 180 days is 6 months. So if you're not sure about working with the person, I would maybe put like a week or 2 weeks or even a day, just to have like the showing for the day. Because in this, and this is why I don't work with everybody, God bless you. I feel like some people really want to work with me, but when I'm doing this, I'm getting to know you. I'm getting to know your family. I'm getting to know the intimate details of your life that probably your friends and your family don't know. I'm like your confidant. I'm your advisor. Sometimes I'm like a counselor. You want to make sure it's someone you're going to like dealing with. There are a lot of agents that don't even answer their phones on the weekend. I still don't know how they're doing it. When you have me, I'm working for you 24/7. You call me anytime. I've been on the phone 12 o'clock at night because I had customers that were cashiers and worked at Publix, so they didn't get off until 10 o'clock at night. To me, I'm here for you. I'm here to serve. How can I be of service? And when you're actually serving someone, it's not always comfortable to you. You have to meet people where they are. So I only said that to say, make sure you're working with someone you'll want to work with. That's it. 180 days if left blank. The purchase period. Broker will have the right to represent you in connection with your efforts to purchase a covered property. A covered property is any property that broker and its sales associates, sometimes referred to as the broker parties, during the purchase period, A, communicated with you about, B, showed to you, either in person or virtually, or C, provided information to you. Now, let's back that up. Just in case you're one of these people out here that does want to try to screw someone over. Even if they provided information to you about the property, they're entitled to a commission. You see that? During the purchase period and thereafter, you may pursue either directly or with another real estate broker the purchase of any property that is not a covered property without any obligation to broker under this agreement. Okay, so class, what is a covered property? Something the broker communicated with you about, showed to you either in person or virtually, or provided information to you. That can be as simple as an email, and every email that you're sent from MLS has if you opened it or not. So just in case you're going to try to get around that, they can see it was opened. 2, duration. If upon expiration of the purchase period, you are a party to a contract to purchase a covered property, a purchase contract, or are engaged in negotiations relating to the purchase of a covered property, the purchase period shall automatically extend until negotiations conclude or the purchase contract closes, whichever is later. So let's say we have an agreement for 6 months. That gives us till May 10th. May 8th, we find something. We're going back and forth. We're negotiating. We get it under contract. You think, let me say not you, someone unscrupulous, because you're not unscrupulous. You're on here learning how to buy real estate. So you probably want to know more intimately about the things you can and cannot do. Someone unscrupulous, lascivious, they thinks that, well, this agreement is over May 11th, 2026, and I bought the property, but now I don't owe them a commission because our agreement expired May 10th. No, in here it's saying you still owe a commission because this agreement automatically extends because you're still under negotiations and then under contract. Commission. You acknowledge that broker's compensation for representing you in connection with your purchase of a covered property, Coldwell Banker charges $375 fee. You'll see that as an admin fee, broker fee, transaction fee. It's the kind of the same thing. And blank percent of the purchase price, or $375 and like a flat fee. So if a buyer was like, okay, I'm willing to pay you $5,000 to help me, you would put in there for the second line $5,000. The commission, you acknowledge and understand that brokerage commissions are not set by law and fully negotiable. So that's what that lawsuit was about too. I think making people think that the standard commission is 6% or 3% or 5%. There is no standard commission. They're not set. They're absolutely not set. There is no standard. There is no, commissions are whatever they are and whatever you were able to negotiate with your agent. Now, take a break here and talk about commissions a little bit. So if you're working with someone, and because I get this a lot, people are like, oh, can you sell my property for X amount of commission? And I'm like, no, I want higher, obviously. And then they're like, well, this agent said they'll do it for 1%. I'm like, please, go ahead with that 1% agent. They're gonna put your property online with cell phone pictures. I've seen it, it's online right now. And do almost nothing for you. So the adage in life, you get what you pay for, that's exactly it. Now, if you agree to sell the property with someone that charges a higher commission, and then they are also not doing any work, then I feel like you should have done more research. Because if you look at someone looking at different agents, I would ask them, can you send me your marketing strategy? Can you send me examples of how the property looks online? People, you eat with your eyes first. Most people looking for homes right now, most buyers are looking online first. So if I'm looking at your property online, there's a cell phone picture. The description is like 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom for sale in this property. There's like no zhuzh. I need the zhuzh. And the zhuzh is gonna cost you. But the zhuzh also usually helps you get a higher price for your property. And then having an agent that's available during negotiations, that's available to walk buyers through. This is sales. We're in it to sell the property. We're out of this COVID market where things, you could just put something up online, it be in bad condition and people buy it. We're out of that. This is where real, true salesmanship is back. And you need someone that's working for you. That's it. So just know, in life, you get what you pay for. It's no different in real estate. Let's go to 4, property search criteria. At your request, broker will conduct a property search for you based on the criteria you provide, including price range, property type, features, location, and any additional criteria you specify. Some properties that are available for sale may include an offer of compensation offer, which is a separate addendum, to a buyer's broker, including broker from the seller, or listing broker. So when it's in quotations like that, these are the titles that you will see on the addendum. A compensation offer may be lower, higher, or the same as the amount of the commission that you agree to pay broker in paragraph 3. So let me break off from here right now. Most sellers are still paying a commission. I had to deal with this one seller in Punta Gorda that the lawsuit happened when I had that property up for sale. I guess let me tell you this whole experience. So they originally wanted to list their property for $899,000 because the property next door that had been sitting, because that was listed for $899 and ours is better than that one, so we should list for $899. I was like, that's way too high. And this was finally when the two marbles in my head, because I used to just take listings because I had a tennis partner, Carmen, and he said, this is my channel. Y'all are dealing with me. If you don't want to work with me, you don't want to work with me. But I'm going to talk to you how I am, because this is all I got. So my tennis partner, Carmen, fantastic man, just sweetie pie, super smart, plumber from Ohio. I'm sorry, not plumber. He put down floors. He was a contractor in Ohio. He said, tell these motherfuckers whatever they want. I was like, Carmen, if they want $2 million, it's only worth $1 million. Like, he said, who gives a shit? Get the contract and you take all the buyers you can get out of there, which was not bad advice. However, when you get in this business and you're like, I mean, I'm spending money on listings. This last one I had in Spanish Wells, I hate that neighborhood. I've spent at least $10,000 on the marketing. Now, where is that money going? Mailers, digital ads, more mailers, more digital ads, hosting open houses, having other agents host the open house when I can't host it, which costs money. All the time, the gas, the going there, going back, the signs. I'm spending money. So I've done all this for a property that was overpriced, didn't sell, the agreement expired, they went with a different broker. That is the main reason why I do not list properties when they want so much more above the market based on their house, the condition of their house. It's not worth it for me. So back to the house in Punta Gorda, I was able to get them down to still too high of a price, but it was direct Gulf access. It was 13 houses down from the open water. I was like, you know what? This thing can't take that long to sell. But it did. After 6 months of open houses, an hour drive there, an hour drive back, I had a huge July 4th party there. I did all this marketing, all of this like ads and stuff. It's expiring. And I was like, okay, can we do some price reductions? They were resistant to the price reductions. And they're like, well, we staged and we did all this stuff that you told us to do. And I was like, yeah, I did, because we were trying to capture a higher market price. So I was able to find the buyer in an open house. You know, they accused me of having a side deal. You can't make this up. They accused me of having a side deal with the buyer because the price they offered was lower than the sales price. I was like, we've had it on the market for 7 months with no offers after all of this stuff I'm doing. Y'all have a Ring camera on the front door. You see how many people are coming through here. Look at how many houses are for sale right here. And no one's selling. And I captured your buyer in the open house. This is the thanks I get. Sometimes I still don't know why I keep doing this business, because I keep getting slapped around. I put makeup on to cover up the black eye for y'all, okay? It's funny because I'm traumatized, okay? All right, I digress. So, oh my gosh. So going back to the compensation offer, the Punta Gorda people decided they weren't offering a commission anymore. Before they were offering a 3% commission. Then they're like, oh, well, the buyer's agent can pay their commission. And, and I was like, okay, well, we had a 3% commission offer and weren't able to get it under contract. Now you want to take that away and to see if we, okay, I see what's happening here. Madness. Most people, most sellers are still paying a commission. I've had 2 or 3 buyers have to put a little bit of money towards my commission, but that is definitely not the majority of the case, because most people have sense and they realize that if a buyer's agent that's working brought you a buyer that can buy your home, they deserve a commission. And I mean, it's like, are we in La La Land? Oh, you just got people out here working for free. That's called slavery. I digress. Okay, so we're back to property search criteria. A compensation offer may be lower, higher, or the same amount of the commission that you agree to pay broker in paragraph 3. Other properties may not include any compensation offer. Broker will inform you of all properties that meet your search criteria, regardless of any compensation offer. Let me stop right there. When I'm not telling you what I heard, I'm telling you what I know, okay? And if I'm wrong, put me out of business, just like Tatia. In Punta Gorda, when she decided not to offer a commission, there were agents that would call me and say, is this property offering a commission? I was like, no. However, click. They didn't even let me get out. Put your commission in the offer and I'll do my best to get it for you. They hung up the phone. It happened like 2 or 3 times. And I was like, so I would message them like, hey, please submit an offer and just put your commission in and I'll try to get it through. If you don't offer a commission, as a listing agent that this has happened to, they won't show it. Agents won't show your property. Now, I'm sure they'll get around and say, oh, well, that day, I forgot to show it. We just ran out of time. God, that was so funny. The funny part about it was that the lawsuit closed while I was still dealing with that property. And then sellers were like, then they're like, we're not offering a commission. And it happened like 3 or 4 times in a row. And then I told the seller what was happening. And do you think they still wanted to offer commission? Okay. Broker will inform you of all properties that meet your search criteria regardless of any compensation offer, which will provide you with the greatest exposure to available properties, but which also may obligate you to pay all or part of the commission at closing. If you purchase a covered property, the amount that you owe broker under paragraph 3 will be reduced by the amount of the compensation offer received by broker on your side of the transaction. Does that make sense? Let's just do like a easy example. We signed a commission at 10%. We buy a property, $300,000, 10% commission is $30,000. In the offer, we ask for 10% commission from the seller. The seller is like, I'm only gonna give $15,000. I'm only willing to give 5%. So under this agreement, you're the buyer, your buyer's agent is entitled to how much money from you? If you came up with $15,000, you're the winner. Okay. If you have questions, please email me. I'm gonna put my contact information below just to try to help people that have questions about it. I am nothing if not willing to help. You acknowledge and understand that A, except as set forth in the default paragraph below, the commission is due at closing. B, you may include a provision in your purchase offer to the seller that reflects your expectations, if any, regarding the amount of the commission. If any, that you want the seller to pay to broker to reduce or eliminate your obligation under paragraph 3. C, if accepted by the seller, you should ensure that the seller's agreement to pay any part of the commission is included in your final sales contract. Now, I know we saw before, it's called compensation offer. That is a separate addendum. It needs to be selected in the additional addendum. We'll go over that when I get to the contract. There are a couple of boxes for additional addenda. One's compensation offer, another one is HOA. I think it's just HOA or housing for older persons. These are all different addenda. You need to make sure this addendum for the compensation offer is attached. If it's not attached, that's another example. This has not happened to me before, but if you have an addendum that is not selected on the contract, not included at all, then the seller is not obligated to add it after the fact. When these contracts are signed, fully signed by both parties, that's it. That's it. You're done. You can attempt to further negotiate after the fact, but whatever you signed is whatever you signed. It's extremely important. I wish I could make it zoom on my head right now. You read every page of this contract. What did I just tell you? Don't trust anybody. Don't trust me. trust you and your ability to read. Yes, you can go out here and hire an attorney. Don't trust them either. You're the one signing. You're the one obligated. Read. Take a second to read. We're talking about several $100,000, several $1 million properties. Let's see. Okay. D, any seller concessions that are offered and agreed to will first be applied to payment of any unpaid portion of the commission at closing. And E, if broker is also the listing broker, the list side commission paid to broker by the seller is not included in calculating the amount paid to broker at closing for purposes of reducing any portion of the commission you may owe broker. Broker will not accept compensation on your side of the transaction from any source that exceeds the amount agreed to herein. If, like I did in Punta Gorda, I'm the listing agent, I found the buyer. The buyer's compensation would be separate from the listing agreement compensation already agreed to. So if you're dealing with one of these shiesty agents out here, and there are a ton of them, ready to karate chop your ass, okay? If they have you sign a buyer's offer for compensation, that's separate from the listing compensation you've already signed. So if they've already gotten you to, let's say 5%, they already got you signed at 5%. And then they come over here and get another 3. What's 5 plus 3? 8%. Don't let them do it to you. A lot of these agents are terrible out here, absolutely horrible. Wouldn't leave a puppy under their stead. Selfish, greedy, and all about themselves. They are not about the relationship. And if they could squeeze another dime out of you, they would, because they would step on their own mother's head to get a check. Keep that in your mind. Sorry, I keep shaking the table. Most people out here that are working, they do not care about you. They do not care about you. They are trying to get that check. They have expensive mortgages. They have expensive car payments. They have kids in school. They have other motivations. So when it's money involved, I've seen it get real, the seas get very rough. So I just want to make sure one more time. We do not what? Trust anyone. They are all what? Looking out for themselves. I feel like I need to say it louder for the people in the back over there. Yes, we're you. You too. They will smile at your face and stab you in the chest. Am I traumatized by real estate? Yes. Can you feel it? Do I still love this business? Is it very rewarding? It's incredibly rewarding. Do I want you to know there are sharks out here that smell blood in the water and they'll gobble you on up? Piranhas, stingrays, leopard seals, not the seals, killer whales. Let me go to the top, predator. Killer whales if you were a leopard seal. Because killer whales really don't mess with humans that much. Except recently they were attacking boats, but I think something happened in that situation where one of theirs was injured and then they started attacking boats. So, sorry. I always have to like fact check my own joke. I think we're gonna finish this one and then I'm gonna stop it at 4 because I cannot believe I've told this many stories and we're only on number 4. Oh, that's it then. So we went over, so this video, in conclusion, covered number 1, covered property, 2, duration of the agreement, 3, the commission, which by law, there are no set commissions, they're all negotiable. 4, property search criteria. Stick around, we will continue the rest of the buyer representation agreement in the next video.